Alright, so here we go on making this suspension behave properly. Alright, so here is, I'm just going to use this view because it's faster to get through. As we said on the phone before, the main gross motion will be done with the master car null, which is what is on right here. And that moves all the tires and such with it. And that makes everything a self-contained unit, although it will record tire rotation. If I put the car here, and let's make this a little shorter here. Say I go to frame 23, and I'll move this forward here. Boom, and I stop. The tires now, they're all set. You don't have to do anything but the tires. So let's say you wanted to, at this point, have the car tilt a little bit. For that, we're going to use the car body. So let's say I go back here, and I'm going to throw in a keyframe in rotation, and then the car stops, and I'll give it some tilt, like it's loading up the shocks, and then I'll come back here and reset it. So there, so that is set up. Car comes in, compresses the shocks, and then releases. Now, as you can see, the tires are completely wonky and messed up. That doesn't work. It's a mess. So we need to fix that. And anytime you do this, you need to fix this. So what I tend to do is I tend to do all my gross animation for the entire thing, start to finish, of the car moving around and all this stuff. This would also include sort of this kind of stuff. You know, the car loading in a tight turn or something. I'm not doing that here. So that would be that. So now, anyway, the first thing you need to do, so we've established all movement. We're happy with this. Now we've got to fix the suspension. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the top. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so I can see it better. And we want these four main suspension bones. We're going to start here, let's say with this one. Right front suspension. So it's going to be this one, this one, this one, and this one. So grab this guy, go to the motion options, and you'll see already in here there's a motion baker in place. All you gotta do is turn it on. Go to the next one, turn it on. The next one, turn it on. Okay, so they're all on now. And now don't move in the timeline anywhere at this point because it will kind of mess things up. So they're all turned on. These are also the only bones that have anything like that in that. You can see if I back up one in the hierarchy, there's nothing. If I go to the next one in the hierarchy, also nothing. This is the only bone in the hierarchy that has anything on it. So they're all turned on. Now I'm going to go to Graph Editor here, and I already have the selection set saved as a preset here. Under the channels, I'm going to go down to Tire Tilt Transfer, and here it is. And pretty much what this is this. These are the results from recording these motions. This is where it gets stored. You know, we're going to walk through the animation and record all those angular motions. And then all these guys are the actual little bones that carry the tires, which are these bones. And it's going to take the information from this bend, and then it's going to use this. Let me see if I can bring it up. It's going to use these four expressions. Here's the expression here. And it's taking the value that was baked by Motion Baker and reversing it and feeding it back up into there. So let me get all these. So you see there's nothing here now. So what happens is with everything set up, I am now going to, using my arrow key, just start to run through the animation. You can see already the keyframes are popping up in the graph editor. Okay, so I'm only going that far because I need to go. So you can see what happened here was it got recorded, and then these guys, that expression writes it to there. But the thing is, this is temporary. So if I were to go to render it, sometimes I can't find this information. So I'm going to go to each one of these. I'm going to hit B for bake, and that turns these into real data. Now another important thing to do after this is go back to your motion options, and for each one of these bones, turn it off, because otherwise it's going to keep baking it. Oops, let me back out here. it'll keep baking it over and over and over again. It'll bog the machine down and give you extra keyframes that you don't need. So now what happens is, go back to the top, when the car comes in and it loads up, see now the wheels are straight now. Now it's, you can see all the bones working there. The tires are all flat. Alright, so let's say you wanted to make a change. Here I've got the vehicle, after it comes in and stops, I jacked it up like he's going to an off-road mode. And as you can see, the tires again are messed up. They're fine for the first part there, but messed up there. So we have to kind of do the process again. So what I'll do is I will bring back up this, not the scene editor, but in fact, graph editor, and I've reloaded up that same tire tilt transfer set. I'm going to select the curve we just baked, and I'm going to select all these points except for the first one. Oops, delete. No, I don't need these guys here. Okay, and then I'll probably do the same thing here too. We'll get rid of all these keyframes. Okay, and we'll go back to motion options, and again turn this back on again. For each of these big suspension bones, got to turn their baker back on again. Oops, and boom. So now I'll go back to my graph editor here, and again we'll walk through it frame for frame. And you can see it writing the information down. And there's the new section right there. Okay. So there's a section where it gets jacked up. And you can see that's where it's stopped moving. So you really could have stopped there. And now we'll go to each one of these. Whoops. Except that the... Oh, actually, you know, I'm glad this happened. What happens when you do that after you bake them is that notice how the expression is no longer on there. So you're going to have to put the expressions back on again. And they are over here. Tilt left. There it is. And that goes to... there's a tilt left, tilt right, and tilt left back, tilt right back. So that clearly tells you which ones you want. So this is the right back suspension. So right back is going to use tilt right back. So we'll apply that. Let me rewind. We'll apply that. Oh, see, and it's already there. So now I'll go to left back, tilt left back, apply. Here's right front, tilt right, apply, and tilt left, apply. So now they're all back again. So again, I'm going to bake them, each one in turn. So now when we run the tires, they'll come in, compress, and then when it jacks up, whoop, the tires will stay firmly attached to the ground. Pretty neat. So that's the suspension. And then as we said before, I think you already got the texture part. If you want me to do another one of these for the texture, let me know. But that's the suspension for motion.